Welcome to Premia TNC's YouTube channel. In this video, we would like to share tips with you on opening a bank account in Malaysia for foreigners. If you have recently just moved to Malaysia or are in the process of doing so, one of your most immediate goals is to open a bank account in Malaysia. This video will touch on some of the most frequently asked questions surrounding this topic, and other important tidbits to help shed more light on the matter. Is it possible to open a bank account in Malaysia as a foreigner? Technically, any foreigner can open a bank account in Malaysia as long as certain parameters and requirements are met. Variables like one's current financial situation and their desired banking needs must be taken into consideration when opening a new bank account in the country. The required paperwork to open a bank account in Malaysia doesn't necessitate proof of address in the country. That means you can start the process of opening a bank account even while you're still living abroad. Any non-resident of Malaysia is eligible to open any of the following types of accounts, which are personal savings account, personal current account, and combination account. There are 3 steps to open a bank account as a foreigner in Malaysia. While opening a bank account as an expat in Malaysia can seem like such a tedious endeavor, the entire process can be condensed into 3 simple steps. The first step is choose your bank. In the later parts of this video, we will be listing some of the most popular banks that you can consider for this step. In totality, these banks will offer their own share of strengths and weaknesses. It's all a matter of finding one that's the best fit for your own personal financial needs. When choosing a bank, there are 3 key factors that you need to consider. Firstly is the location of the bank. You always want to make sure that you choose a bank that is convenient for you to access. It would be incredibly inefficient and inconvenient on your part to open an account with a bank that's too far from where you reside. Fortunately, many of the commercial banks in Malaysia have branches located all around the country. Secondly is ATM availability. Automated teller machines are incredibly useful for when you want to engage in transactions without having to line up at the bank itself. Some of the popular local banks like Maybank and CIMB Bank will have an abundance of ATM that are strategically located around the entire country. While this is not necessarily the only factor that you need to think about, it's definitely a variable that you need to consider, especially if you don't plan on making too many trips to the bank to make constant withdrawals. Lastly is services provided by the bank. Of course, you also need to consider the services that these banks are able to provide you. Some banks will offer credit cards that are bundled up with their savings accounts, while others will offer comprehensive insurance packages. Go over the various services of each bank and choose the one that appeals the most to you. Step 2 is prepare your documents. Preparing your documents can get tricky as different banks may have different requirements as well. However, for the most part, the documents that you must always have prepared in order to give you better chances of approval in opening a bank account in Malaysia, such as passport, valid work or student visa, letter of recommendation from your place of work, if applicable, letter of referral or recommendation from an existing customer of the bank, if not employed, and completed bank account application forms. Step 3 is open your account. Once you have all the necessary documents in place, you may proceed to open the bank account. Usually, these banks will provide you with a relationship manager or customer support staff that will help you walk through the formalities and procedures of opening your account. Most banks in Malaysia have advanced digital services, and it's not rare for people to have opened a new bank account within 45 minutes. The best banks in Malaysia. Considering that Malaysia is one of the most highly developed countries in Asia, it's not too difficult to find a commercial bank that would be able to suit your personal banking and financial needs. The country has a good collection of both local and international bank brands that offer solid and reputable services. The local banks are Maybank, CIMB Bank, Public Bank, Bank and Affin Bank. The international banks includes HSBC, Standard Chartered, OCBC Bank, United Overseas Bank Limited, UOB, Al Rajhi Bank and Kuwait Finance House. What makes banking services in Malaysia unique? One key variable that makes banking in Malaysia so unique is that the industry is divided into 2 categories, which are conventional banking and Islamic banking. This is to accommodate the fact that Malaysia is a majority Muslim country. The key difference between both categories lies in the interest that is earned or charged by the bank. Here is a quick rundown of the key features of each. For conventional banking, income can come from any source. Financing is provided at a variable rate determined by market forces, and higher late payment penalties for hire purchase arrangements. For Islamic banking, income must come from an income source that is legal in accordance to Muslim law, that is prohibits income from gambling, alcohol sales, etc. Financing is provided at a variable rate with a maximum cap, and lower late payment penalties for hire purchase arrangements. There are a few tips to help ease the process. Again, while it is possible for non-residents to open bank accounts in Malaysia, the process can get quite tedious and complicated. There are many requirements that need to be satisfied and a host of important papers and documents that need to be procured and organized properly. While you may think that you already have everything in line, it's still possible that you will have missed a few details here and there, especially if you've never gone through this process before. That's why one major tip that most first-time expats or emigrants tend to follow is to avail of the services of experts to help walk them through the process. Premia TNC is a dedicated overseas business consulting and accounting firm that specializes in company formation, accounting, taxation, and trading services in Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam, Taiwan, Korea, Malaysia, and Dubai. We have a team of specialists who are professionally trained in the realms of financial knowledge and government regulations, which places them in the best position to assist you through this transitory process. More than just giving you the knowledge that you need to open a bank account in Malaysia, Premia TNC is positioned to provide you with all the relevant solutions that you need to make the process as easy and as efficient as possible. Discover more information by visiting us at the link provided. Contact us to know more about our services.